Today, December 21st, marks the birthday of basketball. Yep, the birthday of basketball, invented by Dr. James Naismith in Springfield, Massachusetts. And as part of the annual celebration, the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame has announced the eligible candidates for the class of 2019. And we are thrilled in what has become a tradition to announce them here on The Jump. I always consider this a real honor. Here are some of the notable candidates for the class of 2019. We have... You knew he was going to be up there first. 2004 Finals MVP Chauncey Billups, our guy here at ESPN,
Big Shot.
Alongside his old teammate, four-time Defensive Player of the Year Ben Wallace. You've got five-time All-Star Chris Webber, five-time All-Star Tim Hardaway, six-time WNBA All-Star Becky Hammon. Byron, who are you most excited about on that list? Who would you stump for to get in?
Oh, my God, that list is so amazing. But I'm going to go with my man, C-Webb.
Okay.
Chris Webber. Coached him in Sacramento when he was at the prime of his career. And you're talking about a guy that could do it all. C-Webb was great in the post. He was great in the mid-post facing up guys. Unbelievable passer. Great rebounder. His hands were like glue. If the ball touched his hands, it was his ball. And then he was a great leader. He was just one of the best players I've ever been around as a coach. And the way he played the game and the way he cared about his teammates was just second to none. So I think C-Webb, for me, definitely should be a Hall of Famer.
I do want to say on Chris, so I worked with him over at Turner, and what you say about his enthusiasm for basketball, even after he retired,
loves the game.
Just loved being around the game, loved being around the players, all of that stuff. And obviously, you know, lots of guys who play basketball love the game, and a lot of guys who become broadcasters, it's because they still want to stay around the game.
Right.
But it's fun. It's fun to be around that infectiousness. It's fun to be about someone who just lives and breathes this stuff. What about you?
And he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Ben Wallace, this is his third year up, and this is going to be a guy I think that is going to be difficult for years on end. He was a guy who was the best defensive player in the league over a 5 or 6 year span. He won defensive player 4 times. He completely ruled the paint. When he was in there, he completely changed the game. And I think he's being penalized a little bit because he was not a great offensive player. He was a champion. They were a champion. The fall of the Detroit Pistons didn't happen when they traded Chauncey Billups. It really happened when they let Ben Wallace get away in free agency. He's definitely a Hall of Famer in my mind because he dominated that end of the court in the entire league for a long period of time. But it's going to be difficult because he couldn't shoot.
I don't know. We talked about how the court has two ends yesterday, and I get that. But you're letting guys in who were excellent offensively without being so good on the other end. So if the court only has one end in one way, it should have only Ben Wallace should get in. I got to shout out, though, our teammate here on The Jump, Chauncey Billups, former 2004 Finals MVP with the Pistons, who beat Byron's Lakers. Look, Chauncey.
Just rub it in. Just rub it in, Rach.
I mean, I covered this team. I was around them every day. Not every day through the season. I was not a beat writer, but I was with SportsCenter and I was assigned to them through the playoffs.
You were on Mount Piston quite a lot. I remember.
And just his leadership. And here's a guy who started his career where people thought, oh, he's falling short of expectations. He moved around from team to team throughout the league. There were people whispering that maybe he didn't have the right attitude to be on, be a leader in the NBA. He showed how much character he has, basketball skill he has, and when that team needed him to make a play, he made it, and they won a championship over a team that was heavily favored to beat them.
I don't think it's a question. I think he's getting in.
So
I think he's a first ballot guy.
So this is the year. This is the year to rally for the former Pistons. We'll be doing that here on The Jump, leading up to the vote.
C-Webb is a former Piston.
So that's what I mean. This is it. We're going to stump for him. We'll see how this goes. I do also want to talk about former 6-time WNBA All-Star and current Spurs assistant coach Becky Hammon, because, man, she is a compelling candidate also. Who knows? Maybe she's going to be nominated as a coach in the future as well.
Maybe.
We'll see. She's certainly on her way, but there is no question. There's her winning the Summer League title. There's no question, though, she is more than qualified as a player. She should get in on that. And here are some more of the men's North American nominees. Former Kings coach Rick Adelman, Muggsy Bogues, shout out short people, Marcus Camby, Kevin Johnson, George Karl, Sidney Moncrief, Rudy Tomjanovich, Paul Westphal. Producer Danny says, talk slower. I will do that. Byron, tell us about your former coach. I mean, for your former colleague, Coach Adelman.
You know what? Rick Adelman was one of the best coaches I've ever been around. Very unassuming. Never got enough credit for the things that he was able to accomplish as a coach. Didn't like all the fanfare. He was just a guy that just came to work. And if you look at every organization that he went to, they won. You know, he was just one of the most underrated coaches I've ever been around.
Offensive innovator.
Oh, yeah, great offensive coach. Just unbelievable offensive coach. And, I mean, we had that team in Sacramento with Chris Webber and Vlade and Jason Williams and those guys. And he put Sacramento on the map, you know. So I think, without a doubt, that Rick Adelman should definitely be in the Hall of Fame as a coach.
I also want to get to some of the really strong candidates in the women's North American nominees. I mean, look at Kim Mulkey. She's up as a player and a coach. Teaspoon, Theresa Weatherspoon.
You talk about a defender there.
Right?
She could scare opponents. Man. She scared me.
Was tough.
She scared me.
Tough.
Right? It's great list here, and we've got more coming.